Hello everybody, it's That One Sock and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at Scizor EX. Now this is definitely a different type of deck. I don't see anybody really talking about Scizor EX at all. This is a deck that I've been testing for a while and I actually quite enjoy it. Not only that, but the deck actually functions to a pretty decent level. I would say that this deck is not meta by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely not bad. It's definitely not bad. This is definitely a deck that you could play and take some wins with. This deck has a lot of options. It has Energy Excel, it has Draw Power, like what else would you really need? It has Single Price Attacker, it has a multi-price attacker that hits for big dam. It has a lot of options, it has a lot of text, so I want to get into my deck list because I've been cooking it for a minute now and I've been waiting to show you guys, so let's get into this. First of all, I run 3 of the Scizor EX. I really like this count of 3 Scizor EX. It feels like pretty good. If you don't know what Scizor EX does, he has 270 HP, evolves from Scizor, and has an attack for 2 color damage. It's called Steel Wing. During the next attack or next turn, like your opponent's turn after that, you use this attack. This Pokemon will take 50 less damage. So if it essentially goes to 320 HP, which is pretty good, especially if you're not going to take a 1-hit KO anyways. I've actually found myself using Steel Wing and living attacks quite often. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then it has the attack Crossbreaker, which you can discard any number of energies from this Pokemon, and it does 120 for each. Well, you can only do 2, so it goes up to 240, which isn't a bad amount. You KO all the big basics in the format, so you know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I wouldn't say it's bad at all. For a single price attacker, we do run one of the Punishing Scizors. I hate these sleeves. They push up so much. Punishing Scizors, it does 50 more damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has an ability. So basically, if your opponent is playing like a Chen Power or whatever, you can throw this into the active and disrupt the prize race and take prizes that you probably shouldn't. Then we have one more evolution of Scizor, of course. We run one Kleavor. This one is really in here to kill Arceus and to kill Iron Hands with the Route ability or Route attack. Or, I mean, if you can take an attack or take a KO with Route in general, you might as well use that, right? It does 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if they have a full bench or whatever, then you can do really big damage with this. Really big damage. And then, of course, if we're running all these Scizor people, we might as well run for Scizor to go along with it. This is the Scizor from 151. We run 4 of her, of course. This one has free retreat, that's why I run it. There's really no other reason. And it has 70 HP. Very important, very important. 70 HP and has free retreat. This is why the deck is pretty good, by the way. If the Scizor wasn't good, then the deck would be kind of bad. For our energy acceleration, we run 2 of the new Metang. I was running 3 before, it was a little bit dramatic, so I went it down to 2. This one has the ability Metal Maker. Once during your turn, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck, attach any number of metal energy from there. It doesn't say once per turn. It also says once during your turn per Metang, so you can use 1 Metal Maker, you can use 1 more Metal Maker, and it potentially accelerate up to 8 energy in 1 turn, which is really good. So we have 2 of those. And of course, to accompany that, we have 2 of the Beldum. This is the Beldum from Silver Tempest. It's the best Beldum. It has the Magnetic Lift. It has search your deck for a card, shuffle the deck, and put that card on top of it for 1 colorless energy, so you can use metal to do that. Then we run, for Draw Engine, we run 2 B-Barrel. B-Barrel allows you to draw until you have 5 cards in hand. Pretty good. Of course, to go along with that, we run 2 Bidoof. And then this is my special little tech. I do run the Squavit. My thought process is basically like, you put Pokemon or cards to the bottom of your deck anyways, and your deck's gonna be pretty small. So like, you might as well use a Squavit and then like put more cards at the bottom of your deck and then push the cards back up. You know what I mean? That's kind of my... Check out the shiny one. This one probably evades. It's actually quite sick. And then for a secondary attacker, we do run the single prize Zamazenta. This card goes crazy. It has the Metal Shield. If this Pokemon has any energy attached, it takes 30 less damage from attacks, which is lovely. It makes Goldengo have to use 4 energies to kill this, which is a potentially really big number, because then they're using a superior energy retrieval to kill this thing. This, by the way, this deck really does lose to Goldengo, unfortunately. I mean, if you ran like, I don't know, just kind of loses. unfortunately. Retaliate. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, it does 120 more damage, which 220 on a single prize attacker is actually really nice. Especially one that's basic, you know, and is as big as Zamazenta is. And then we do run one Manaphy to protect the bench. And that's all for the Pokemon in this deck. Then we move on to the ace spec of choice. I do choose to play Prime Catcher. I was playing Max Belt before, but I didn't find that Max Belt really did anything a lot of the time. It really just helps for the Goldengo matchup, and that's really it. Prime Catcher allows you to take KOs that you wouldn't be able to take otherwise. I really do like the Prime Catcher in this deck. I do feel as if Prime Catcher is the best choice for an ace spec. I mean, you could also run Hero's Cape if you wanted to, but I don't want to. So anyways, for supporters, we run 4 research. Research just allows us to get to the bag. I do run 2 super rod in here, so I wouldn't feel too bad about dumping Pokemon and energies. I do run Palpat as well, so dumping you know, other supporters isn't too big of a deal. Research allows you to discard your hand and draw 7 once per turn. It's very nice. Then we do run 2 of the Iono. Iono just allows us to get back in the game if we're losing. It allows us to win more, potentially. Iono is just a lovely card, and we love to see Iono. If you don't know what Iono does, each player shuffles their hand, puts it at the bottom of their deck, and draws equal to their prize cards. Then we do run 2 of the Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders allows us to gust up your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active position and take KOs that you wouldn't be able to take otherwise. It's very good, especially for an aggressive deck. We do run 1 Arven. This Arven's kind of sus. Like, you could probably take it out. I don't know. This is when I was using Max Belt. Like, I was just using this to search out Counter Catcher and Max Belt in the same turn so that I could, like, do crazy stuff. But, you know, Arven, it's a relic of my past build. I don't know if it's actually quite good. I don't know. And then I run the 1 Cryptomaniac because we do run Bibarel, we do run Matang, so getting cards to put on the top of the deck is pretty fucking good. That's all for the supporters in this deck. Then for items, we do run 4 of the new Buddy Poffin. All the Pokemon in this deck have 70 HP, so you might as well. Like, you have this 60, 60, 60, 70, 70. The only thing you can't really get is the Zamazenta, but you have a Nest Ball in this deck anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Buddy Poffin allows you to grab 2 Pokemon, 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less, and add them to your bench. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Then we do run the 4 Ultra Ball. We get to our Pokemon very much so. We get to get to all the Pokemon that we need. Discard 2 from your hand. Search deck for any Pokemon. So that means you can get whatever you may need in the specific scenario. I do find the 4 Ultra Ball to be very necessary because we do run a lot of techie cards, including Zamazenta, the Scizor, and you may want to search a certain Scizor evolution during your turn, so yeah. Then we do run the 2 Nest Ball. This is for getting Zamazenta and potentially getting more cards onto the field. Then we run the 2 Super Rod. 2 Super Rod has been really good for me. I've really loved the 2 Super Rods so far from testing with this deck. I wouldn't go down to 1, although you could go down to 1 theoretically. I just really like the 2 Super Rod. Then we do run the Counter Catcher. This deck is quite aggressive. We do want to take KOs if we're behind. We don't want to be behind. We want to win. So Counter Catcher works for us for that. If you're behind on prizes, you could digest something into the active, acting like a Boss's Orders on an item. Pretty fire. And then Super Rod, I didn't read that, but you can shuffle any 3 Pokemon or energies back from your graveyard into your deck. We do run the 1 Switch. We don't like getting things stuck in the active. It's really ugly, especially when things are, you know, Control is taking over the format slowly but surely. We like to take things out of the active spot and switch it with our bench. And then we do run the 1 Palpat as well. Shuffle up to 2 supporter cards from the discard pile back into the deck. So there we go. That's it for the items. Then we have stadiums. I do run the one Artisan. I was running two Artisan before. Artisan is pretty good, but you know, I do want to get more techie cards into here, you know, so I can have more of a late game presence. So we do run just the one Artisan for now. You can probably bump it up if you wanted to. I also run the Lost City to get rid of people's stuff. You know what I mean? Like, get rid of people's stuff. This probably could get cut, you know, because it could potentially lost zone your pieces that you need, like punishing Scizors or Cleavor or whatever. But you know, it's just what I've been testing with. So far so good on Lost City. I've liked it quite enough. It's not that big of a deal of Lost City or getting my stuff lost zone. Most of the time I'm using Scizor EX anyway, so I'm not really too worried about my stuff getting lost zone, but you know, it is what it is. It happens sometimes, so that's just what happens when you play Lost City. Then for energy count, we run quite a high energy count because of the Matang, so we do end up running the 12 energy count. 12 is quite a good amount for me. I do really like the energy in this deck. I also run the two super rods because of the fact that you discard energies with Scizor's attack, so you end up with a lot of energies in the discard pile. So with this deck, I really do like the 12 energy. I feel like it's really good. Reversal it's not really good because, you know, all the attackers just do the stuff that you need to do. Although if you wanted to, you could run, this is actually quite a tech. You could run, this is a tech idea for those of you who are interested. Hold on. You could run this, and where's my reversal energy? This, if you wanted to, in this deck. If you really want to if you want to really tech out your list, you could run this. You could run reversal Luxray and fuck these people up. You could. I don't see a problem with that. You could definitely do that. That's definitely something worth exploring. But anyways, that's all for this list. I hope you guys enjoyed the Scizor list. I hope you guys are looking forward to Temporal Forces. I hope you guys are, you know, at pre-releases, participating in the events and stuff. Make sure to let me know in the comments what decks you guys are building. For me, I am building Ancient Box over here. I have my Ancient Box ready. I'm going to do a deck profile on this as well. And then I'm also building Torterra, which is the next video I'm uploading, and I'm building Scizor Box. So I don't know if I'm going to build anything more. I have been quite interested in Farigiraf Control, low-key, high-key. I don't know. It looks kind of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace. Have a great day.